Cell phone use for school administrators. Created by Lori Wardlaw, Hermitage Elementary School, 6th grade math and science teacher. Today I'm going to be talking about ways a school administrator can use cell phones to stay connected to the public. A cell phone is a portable telephone that uses wireless cellular technology to send and receive signal. A smartphone, on the other hand, is a device that combines a cell phone with a handheld computer, typically offering internet access, data storage, and email capability. Nearly 2/3 of Americans now own smartphones. The majority of people in the U.S. own cell phones or smartphones. That is why it is a great tool for administrators to use to stay connected. Americans are smartphone dependent. %19 of Americans rely on smartphones for accessing online services and information and for staying connected to the world around them. This means they are smartphone dependent. 13% of Americans with an annual household income of less than $30,000 per year are smartphone dependent. 12% of African Americans are smartphone dependent. And 13% of Latinos are smartphone dependent. Basically, Americans have gotten rid of the internet access at their home. Most homes don't even have, or 19% of American homes don't even have broadband. They rely solely on their cell phones to access the internet. School administrators and cell phones. It is more important than ever for school administrators to stay in touch with parents and members of the community. Some reasons why it is so important is because families by law now have a choice where to send their children to school. If they feel the district is not communicating well, then they may feel a need to move their child to another school district. So it's important to stay in touch and make people feel important and make them feel like they have a say-so in what's going on at the school. Cell phones and smartphones make this kind of communication much, much easier. Basically, you have lots and lots of tools at the touch of your hand. It is invaluable to have internet connection and phone capabilities on the go. We are able to leave our offices and unplug from our computers and still have the same capabilities that we have in our office outside of our office. As long as we have cell signal or internet service, we can do this anywhere we can carry our phones. Ways administrators can use smartphones. These are some ways, but not the only ways, because it would be an endless amount of different things an administrator could use a smartphone for. So these are some of the ones that I'm going to focus on today. Text messaging, email, apps, phone calls and voicemail, and the big one, social media. The first way I'm going to talk about is text messaging. A text message is a written message sent by means of a cellular phone. Group text messages are a great way for administrators to stay connected. An administrator can send different groups of text all at one time, so everyone in the group receives the same info at the same time. You could put groups of teachers. Your staff could all be in one group, and you could text all of them at the same time. They can all text you back, and everyone in the group can see the whole group's text messages as they're received. Also, you can put parents in group text messages. Maybe if you were like the cheer sponsor or the basketball coach, you could have all of the parents that have daughters on the cheer team, and you could text all of them at one time. School Reach. School Reach is a tool that allows the school district to send a mass text to any parent or employee that has signed up for the School Reach. A note can be sent home at the first of the school year to the parents, and if they want to put their cell phone number down to be notified of any information that the school sends out, then somebody would be designated to put all the phone numbers in the database, and it sends out a mass text to all the phone numbers that's in that database. And it could be used to tell parents about inclement weather. It could be used if a ball game was canceled. It just messages a mass amount of people at one time. And it does not allow them to text anyone back, because it's basically being sent from a number that can't be texted back. And parent communication. You can send an individual parent a text this way, and it doesn't disturb them. That way they can get back to you when they have a chance to sit down and see what the need is. You could contact a parent via text if you know that they're at work and the child has forgotten something at home and it's not an emergency for them to get it. You could just text and say, when you get a chance, could you bring this? Or even if there was a discipline problem, you wouldn't text the discipline problem, but you could text the parent and say, call me when you have your lunch break or when you have a chance, because I need to speak to you about your child. Next, we have email. And we all know that email is a system for sending and receiving mail electronically. We've been using email for years, but now it's on our phones, because our phones have internet capabilities, and we can do all of this on the go. And email keeps us connected. We can use it again to communicate with staff. This way the staff is not disturbed by having their cell phone. You can check it when they have a planning time or something like that. You can email individually from your cell phone. You can email groups, and you can receive email as well. And the email icon on your phone will show you when you have a new email message. Easily stay connected while on the go. You're able to check your email anywhere you have cell service, and not only that, you're able to send an email anywhere that you have cell service. And communicate in a professional way. It's more professional to send an email rather than text or call when you know that somebody's at work or could be busy. You could send an email, and then that way when they have free time, the person can check the email and get back to you. Smartphone apps. This is what makes our cell phones so user-friendly. Literally, it is at the touch of your finger. You can open up any apps. And some of the apps that I feel are beneficial for an administrator to use is the social media apps. This could be anything from Twitter to Facebook, Instagram, any of the apps that's on your any of the social media apps that's on your cell phone. And it's very user friendly because it saves your username and your password. You don't have to remember any of that, and when you touch it, it pulls up your stuff immediately. Email. The email apps are good because, again, it saves your username and password. It shows you when you have a new email, when somebody has sent you an email, and it's right there on your cell phone, and you can use it anywhere that you have cell signal. Contacts. This keeps your phone numbers. Any of the people that you have phone numbers for will be stored in your Contacts app, and it is you don't have to carry around phone books. You don't have to write numbers down. It's all right there in your smartphone. It also allows you to have the number to send a text message as well. Internet access. The internet app on your smartphone, you click on it if you need to search something, research a topic. Any of that stuff that you would be doing on the internet is right there on the app. And then the educational games is probably the most important one, but not necessarily for an administrator. It would be more for teachers and parents and students. But the administrator could research educational games that could be downloaded to smartphones or tablets and relay the information to their teachers and parents. Social media, basically you've got your big two, Facebook and Twitter. And no matter which social media tool you use, it can be used to communicate with public, help with public relations, and keep up with upcoming events. It's a good idea for the school to have their own page. You wouldn't want to put anything on your personal page because might take pictures of students or things like that, and it's not a good idea to have pictures of students on your personal page. Also, if you're going to put it on the school page, you would need to make sure that the parent had signed the release form for them to be put on the web. Basically, on social media, you update the information, and parents or anyone else who has liked the page can see any of the updated information for the status or any pictures or anything like that added. You would put school news. If somebody had accomplished any kind of award, or even the test scores or the school report card, any of that could go on the social media school page. And you can, of course, upload pictures. And this is a good PR because this is good PR for the school, because when you show pictures of what your students are doing and accomplishing, people tend to relate to that more than just hearing about it or seeing it written down. Phone calls and voicemail. So the smartphone, we know, does all this internet and data stuff, but it also still will receive and make phone calls, and it'll do this from anywhere. So as long as you have your phone with you, you can actually talk one-on-one to somebody. You can call them or they can call you as long as you have service. Also, you can receive or leave voice messages anywhere you have cell service. And one neat thing that I found while I was researching the voicemail is something called voicemail hotline. And some administrators have a problem with giving out their cell phone number, and instead of buying another cell phone or paying for another cell phone line just for school, you can set up something called a voicemail hotline because it's much cheaper. And with the voicemail hotline, it has a different number than your cell phone, so it never rings to your actual phone. And what it actually does is emails the voicemail audio to you. And it also records the sender's phone number, so if you need to get back with them, you can. So it'll leave you a message sent to your email, and then it'll give you their phone number in case you need to get back with them. I hope this presentation has been helpful and informational, and these are some of the resources that I used while I was making my presentation. Thank you.